Look, man, you know what we got to talk about next. It's the hottest thing since sliced bread. Don't do that to me, okay? don't. You knew it was coming. LJ McCrae. This drama. You heard us. You hopped in the precast and we said two words, and you're like, you must be talking about LJ McCrae because we were referring to his increase in ranking over the past, I don't know, month, 2 months. What was the number that he jumped up over the past month? How many spots on like most of recruiting sites?
Yeah, it depends on the site. 247 just updated theirs the other day, and he jumped up to number 6 in the country. On 3 has him now as number 8 in the country. And then the astronomical number that we discussed was ESPN jumping him 270
Mm,
spots
mm.
in their latest update. And I think he's somewhere around number 13 or 14 for their rankings. The one outlier being Rivals, who has him at number 249 in the country right now, which will certainly be updated when they do their new rankings I think they do their new rankings at the end of their senior seasons. I'm sure he'll jump inside the top 100 or maybe even the top 50 at that point.
So I know, look, you know, recruiting is never a lock. You always preface that before we go into to these things, so you don't need, we're good here. But obviously, as we lead up into this coming on Saturday, which is he's committing. Currently, the time is set for 4 o'clock. So if that is the case, we'll be doing a watch party here, so you guys can come in and tune in for that. That's what 247 says, but I'm obviously subject to change depending on how the day rolls out for him. Georgia has been in it. FSU has been in it, and obviously Florida. I know he put Auburn and Miami, but those two names feel like more just space fillers than anything. And Georgia has seemed to have gotten quiet over the last few days. What does concern me is his massive jump in rankings obviously means that it's probably a Georgia or FSU commit because Florida isn't that blessed for us to have that happen. And FSU fans and Twitter fans have been throwing a ton of smoke and just swinging it around in their confidence that LJ McCrae will be annulled by the end of this. Now we're coming to you. All lights, dun dun dun, right? Connor, can you give us a pulse on what's happening this Saturday? I know look, it's not a lock.
Yeah.
I just want a pulse.
So I'll push back on your Florida guys don't get bumped
Okay.
because 247 was actually very, very kind in their latest update to several Florida commits. Nasir Johnson moving up from in the 200s to number 74. Amaris Williams up to top 50 player in the country. And then, of course, everybody's favorite guy, DJ Lagway, moved up to the number 2 quarterback in the country in their rankings, number 16 overall, where he was around the 40s, I think. So they helped out some Florida commits in their latest updates.
Okay.
But as far as LJ McCrae goes, and I can promise you this, nobody has a clue.
Go,
Nope.
Connor. You could have
LJ
teased us a
McCrae
bit. We need clicks.
LJ McCrae is a seasoned professional at the recruiting game. All of these all the smoke that's coming out, all of this, that, and the other, that Florida State feels good, maybe Georgia feels good. I can tell you there are 3 to 4 schools in this recruitment that all feel good as of Wednesday. 4 days before he makes his announcement?
Sure.
FSU, Florida, Georgia, Auburn all feel like they're in a good spot to land this kid.
Auburn too, huh?
Yeah, like I said, everybody feels like they're in a good spot to land this kid.
So
Nobody
let me
really
ask you,
knows what's going on. His camp is not releasing any information. So anything you see, like I know On3 just released some insider intel on the Florida site earlier today or yesterday. 247 with Steve Wiltfong and Zach Blostein released their insider info saying that FSU feels really good and they're in a really good spot for him. But you haven't seen any predictions submitted yet, have you?
No.
Nope.
No Wilt Fongs, as we call it around here, have been locked in
Yeah,
yet.
so
Funky
I will give you a little bit of backstory. LJ McCrae's dad is a 12-plus year college coach at Bethune-Cookman University. He knows the recruiting game. LJ's grown up around the sport of college football. He knows how the recruiting process works. They are not letting anything out. So everybody can speculate as much as they want, and they will. They will up until Saturday, but nobody truly knows what is going on and where that kid is going except for him and his family, and that will be released on Saturday.
So I was just about to ask, what makes him a seasoned veteran? So thank you for reading my mind. It's just why you're an expert here, and I'm just a host. Now, I do want to kind of pick your brain a little bit on we're, I like the fact that nobody knows. I've prefaced this a billion times. Like, this is how recruiting should be. It lights me up. I hate the crystal balls. I mean, well, obviously we use them, but I hate it. I feel like it's like, what's the point of a big reveal when Wilfong's 98% right? It's like, all right, when he picks it, like, we know you're going there. Like, it's stupid. I like the percentages that On3 does. It's kind of just a feel like, hey, based on our conversations, here's where we're going. What's the reasoning for LJ McCrae keeping it so tight knit? Is it to kind of feel out how, these schools want to continue to pursue him? Like, from your knowledge and your background, what's the reason for keeping it so tight knit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these kids don't want the information to get out, but for some reason or another, they tell a friend, they talk to this guy, they talk to that guy, and it gets out.
Okay.
And like I said, LJ McCrae's been around the college football game. His dad's recruited people. His dad has been in the industry for such a long time that he knows what's going on. The family knows what's going on. And to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Sheldon, I'm super excited to see where this kid goes because I'm with you. I hate that 3, 4, 5 days before this kid's scheduled announcement, you get crystal balls from Steve Wiltfong, all these guys, and everybody pretty much already knows where they're going at the time of the announcement. You don't get situations like this very often where you've got a high-profile recruit like this where nobody knows, and every school feels good.
I love that.
So I'm super excited to see what transpires over the next 4 days because I don't really think anything else is going to come out. I think it's going to be a lot of speculation, and this young man's going to announce his decision, and you don't really get this kind of buzz or this kind of drama around a recruitment except for on National Signing Day.
Sure.
And even then, a lot of times people kind of know where guys are going. But man, this one to me is very fun to follow and very fun to watch because you really don't have an idea 4 days out, and it's not very often that happens.
This makes recruiting great. Go ahead, Dave.
Sometimes, I was about to say, sometimes during the recruitment, you don't even know who they're going to pick because they pick up like 6 hats. So.
Yeah, it makes the reveal more exciting too, right? Like when you really put on a show, it's like it's just been must-watch TV, and that's how it should be. Again, I feel like that's gone by the wayside. Now, what is interesting because he's gonna have to. I mean, he's not gonna have to do anything, but I would assume On3, who typically Hayes Fawcett drops a graphic 30 seconds before the kid says anything, anyways. Now, I don't know if you know this or not. Does he have those 6 ready? Is in this case?
Yeah, no, I really don't know that answer. I know Hayes typically always has the information early. So if it's going to leak, it's going to leak from him. But I think he's done a very good job of being very professional, never revealing where this kid's going to go or where that kid's going to go. Obviously, he's doing flip commitments, this, that, and the other that people don't really know a whole lot about. So, I mean, he could find out. He could be the one person in the high school recruiting industry that knows prior to everybody else. But I do know a lot of these kids sometimes through the process will have people make edits to different schools. So to give you an example, Derek LeBlanc a couple years back had a video done for Florida, had a video done for Oklahoma, had a video done for, I think, Penn State. Had all of them done so that nobody knew exactly where he was going to go, and then dropped where he wanted to go. Obviously, everybody knew before he committed that he was going to be going to Oklahoma. But kids will do that to try and throw everything off, or so that no one person knows exactly where they're going to go. And I don't know that McCrae is doing that for this situation, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
This is primetime stuff. I love that. I love your just very neutral, straight up response and the background of why he is so in tune with this and the ability to keep things hush hush. Because again, it's hard to sometimes trust nowadays with a lot of these sites because they're trying to drive traffic from a certain fan base to come and click on it. And they're not lying, right? They're just like, hey, there's some momentum here, and they're not wrong, but it's still fluff because they don't, like you just said, nobody really truly knows. Everyone feels really good about it, which is him having like, look, and I mean, I would imagine all recruiting comes down to where it's pretty close. There's a reason why there's 3 hats on the table. They're really coming down to the wire of like, which one's really giving me the edge here? I mean, talk about Tebow from Swamp King. He's like, hey, I prayed on it the night before and woke up and like, yeah, I'm going to be a Gator. So I'd imagine a lot of these guys are coming down to the wire. And look, I'm sure LJ McCrae probably still has like a pretty good feeling, but could still switch if it comes down to it, depending on what's said in the last few days here. So